Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Vancouver City Council Special Council Meeting of Tuesday, November the 5th, 2024. This special council meeting was called by a majority of council members under sections 2.5B and 14.5 of the procedure bylaw for the purpose of considering a leave of absence for Councillor Boyle. This special council meeting is being convened by electronic means as authorized under Part 14 of the procedure bylaw, the City of Vancouver electronic meetings. As such, council members may participate in person or by electronic means, and we do have councillors online, I see. Okay, so if council member attending by electronic means loses connection during the voting process, team members are available to get you back online quickly. While the voting process is suspended, the team members' contact information has been circulated to you. Video of council members speaking and vote results will be projected on the live stream when available. Council members are reminded that in accordance with sections 14.13 of the procedure bylaw, members must enable their video to confirm quorum. Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Sim is not present. Councillor Carr. Councillor Kirby-Yung. Councillor Dominato. Councillor Bly. Here. Councillor Boyle. Councillor Boyle, you hear us? Councillor Boyle, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Councillor Dominato, we see you.
Okay, clerks, didn't have any sound until now. I'm just flagging that.
Okay. Can you hear
Thanks.
us okay now?
I can now, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Fry? Councillor Montague is in the chair. Councillor Klassen? Councillor Meisner?
Present.
And Councillor Zhou.
Present.
You have quorum, Acting Mayor Montague.
Great, thank you. So the plan for the day, there's just one item of business on today's agenda, a motion for a request for a leave of absence. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this item? Seeing none, would someone like to move the motion?
So moved. That was Councillor Dominato.
Okay, so motion has been moved by Councillor Dominato, seconded by, I think it was Councillor Klassen. And Councillor Kirby-Yung, I see you on the queue. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I wonder if I might ask a point of information through you to the city manager of what I think is the question on a lot of people's minds. And it's not about, per se, Councillor Boyle's request for the unpaid leave, but it's more around, for the minds of the public, what is the process and the steps that the city undertakes towards a by-election, and what does those steps and that sequencing look like? Because I think that's the natural question a lot of residents have. So I thought it would be helpful to ask that through you, Chair, now.
Thanks through the chair, and I'll defer also to the clerk. Katrina can add to this. So once the clerk receives a resignation from council, and then it is then under the charter incumbent on council to appoint chief election officer at the earliest practical opportunity. Once that appointment has been made, the city has 80 days to actually conduct the by-election. So the clock starts ticking at that point. I think there's a fair amount of, considerable amount of effort involved in organizing a by-election and making sure that we can deliver that in a way that's as accessible as possible to Vancouver voters. So from a staff perspective, the prospect of potentially having to do that work during kind of the lead up to the end of the year with budgets and so on for council, as well as over the holiday period, does present some risk. So I think in this case, with the requested leave, the date of that we then would anticipate if Councillor Boyle was going to retire or resign from council, it would be after that date. That would put us into an election in the spring, which is much more manageable, and I think we'll be in a much better position to actually deliver an accessible election on that timeline.
Okay, so just reflecting back on a follow-up to that through the chair, if I might. Councillor Boyle is on unpaid leave. Councillor Boyle may resign in future, potentially December. Then a chief election officer is appointed, and then the other steps are undertaken, and that moves us along the trajectory towards a by-election. My follow-up to that is, what is the anticipated cost to the taxpayers of Vancouver for the by-election?
At this point, we're anticipating a budget, and again, would defer to the clerk, as Katrina and her team are preparing for this now, doing this work, but in the range of $2 million is kind of the budget that we're contemplating.
2 million, okay. And then council, so that person might be seated potentially late spring, and they would be in place until
Next,
summertime 2026, because typically council breaks by that time in advance of a fall election, give or take?
yes, so would be in office. That individual would be through the next election, because of course this council will reconvene following the next election. So it would be November of 2026 that
Okay.
that incumbent presumably would remain in office.
Great, thank you. Appreciate the information. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Dominato.
Thanks, Chair. And thanks. I'm just trying to come back on video. I just wanted to, I know I did this at one of our last council meetings, but I don't think Councillor Boyle was present at that time. She may have been campaigning at that point. I did want to express my congratulations to Councillor Boyle on her success and election to the provincial legislature. She has been passionate at council about the issues of housing and climate that has come through, as well as equity for all residents. And so just wanted to, as a colleague and a peer, to express my congratulations on her win and wish her luck in her new role and endeavors. And I suspect we will continue to be working together as Vancouver City Council with Councillor Boyle. But again, congratulations, Christine.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Dominato. Councillor Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just a quick question to follow up Councilor Kirby-Young's question to City Manager through you, Chair. So after the resignation, how long do we need to, as a council, appoint the Chief Election Officer?
Through the chair, there's no fixed time set out in the charter. It's as soon as practical.
Okay, but there's no later stage. For instance, we can appoint 6 months later. That's okay too. Is that right?
Council, the charter does state as soon as practical. So
soon as
a
practical.
6-month delay would arguably may be difficult to defend as a practical delay.
Okay, thank you. And also, is there anything in the charter that seeing that we have to have a by-election within 1 year or something?
So council is obligated. The charter does provide that if the resignation happens in the final year of the term, and again, I'll defer to the clerk to correct me on that, there is a period of time close to the end of the term where council could opt not to conduct a by-election, but we're not in this period. So
I see.
council
Okay.
is required to undertake a by-election.
Okay, thanks. That's fair. Last question. So the $2 million, do we know the breakdown? Where we spent in this $2 million by election?
We can follow up with council around the cost breakdown and where that number is coming from. I'm happy to provide you with those estimates.
Okay, so just one quick comment here, because I saw in 2017 by-election, there are roughly 30,000 people voted in the by-election. We know by-election turnout rate is normally low. And $2 million, that's about $60 per vote. Yeah, just want to put that in the public. Okay, that's all my question and comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Joe. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think questions have been asked and answered to make sure it's clear on public record what the process is and the timelines are that we are required to follow. Just to also echo Councillor Dominato's words, I would just, number one, really want to congratulate Councillor Boyle for her phenomenal contributions to this council table, her championing of many, many important issues, ranging from, being on council, not this term, but last term, to declare a climate emergency, and seeing the workflow out of that, and to her work with the South Vancouver community around neighborhood houses, and in really supporting the efforts to get a more complete, wholesome, and supported neighborhood. And certainly, she has been a very good and enthusiastic colleague. So I absolutely trust and know that she will make a phenomenal representative as a member of the Legislative Assembly, and look forward to seeing her career successes in the future.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Carr. Mayor Sim. Have the mayor. I see he's. Oh, I can faintly hear you, Mayor. Go ahead.
Yeah, just want to echo a lot of the comments. I want to congratulations, well done, and really happy that you won your election and you're going to be representing Vancouver in Victoria. And I am
Sorry,
very
Mayor. I'm
happy
gonna
to,
interrupt you for just 1 second there. You're really, really digital. I'm just wondering if you could try again there.
Is that better?
It's a little bit better, but we'll probably only get about 70% of what you say.
Can you hear me? Is that better?
Do you want us to take a short break while you try and reconnect?
Sure.
Why don't we take 3 minutes and see if we can get the mayor back on the line here? Councillor Boyle.
Thanks, Chair. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to colleagues for those very kind words. And especially to say a huge thank you to city staff. We have such incredible civil servants across the city who are working so hard on really difficult issues. And it has been a great honor to get to work with you all on moving important issues forward and to work on this council and the last council across party lines with many good people interested in just getting stuff done to make a difference and make people's lives easier. So really grateful to colleagues on council and also across departments across the city who are working so hard to make life better for Vancouverites and residents as well, pitching in to make a difference on advisory committees and showing up to speak at council and so many other ways. It's been so clear to me over 6 years on this council what a collaborative effort it is, and I am very grateful for having been able to be part of it and the trust that Vancouver residents have put in me to do that work. And I know we have a lot of good work together ahead, and as others have said, I'm really committed to continuing to work with the city on all of that work on behalf of residents across Vancouver. It's an honor to get to represent residents in Vancouver Little Mountain as their MLA-elect in Victoria, and I know what good partners we have at the City of Vancouver to make a difference for folks. So I look forward to staying in touch on all of that. I'm sure you will hear from me again. I certainly hope to hear from you. That's all for me, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Boyle. I'll just, before we move forward here, I did receive a quick text from the mayor. He just wanted me to pass on his congratulations to Councillor Boyle. And that he wanted me to say that he is in support of the motion, but his video isn't working. So he unfortunately won't be able to, looks like he won't be able to vote on it, but he did want me to pass that along. So without anybody else on the queue, I'll just say that as a reminder that any council member participating virtually whose video is disabled, they will be marked absent for the vote pursuant to section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. And I'm now going to call the vote. Clerk, can you take us to a voting screen? Members, please register your vote on the voting panel.
Clerks, it's Councillor Dominato. I'll take a vote assistant in favor, please.
Thank you, Councillor Dominato. Okay, looks like that's everybody, and vote is unanimous for all those present. Thank you. So that completes motion one. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Councillor Boyle.
Councillor Boyle, Councillor Kirby-Young seconded.
Second.
That's okay.
And all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Congrats again, Christine.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Good night.